Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror thriller film, The Midnight Meat Train. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a business person heavily sleeping in a subway until he wakes up and wants to leave the train, when suddenly he slips on a pool of blood. He stares at his bloody hands and clumsily stands and walks towards the end of the car. What he sees next is a man brutally beating a body on another train car. Meanwhile, Leon, a photographer, loves capturing extraordinary subjects in the big city. He then returns home to his apartment with his girlfriend, Maya, to scrutinize the photos he took before. Maya entices him with good news in exchange for an hour of intimacy. Maya successfully made an appointment with one respected contact of her friend Jurgis. The news brings joy to Leon, leading him to kiss Maya and enjoy their deal earlier. The following day, Jurgis accompanies Leon to the appointment. During the meeting with the gallery owner, a dismayed face displays on Leon upon hearing the gallery owner's dissatisfaction with his work due to a lack of risk-taking. So she ends the 3-minute meeting by challenging Leon to shoot photos bravely. At night, Leon dreams about swaying handles with dripping blood inside the midnight train. Leon wakes up around 1 a.m., where his determination to impress the gallery owner drives him to capture the nightlife. Outside, he follows 3 thugs onto the subway and observes them cornering the model on the stairs from the top of the stairs. From afar, he shoots photos to capture the ongoing assault. After getting his intended photo, he calls the attention of the thugs and bravely captures the intimidating thug walking towards him. Afterward, he points at the active surveillance camera to show that whatever they're planning can be seen. Eventually, the 3 thugs leave them alone and the model kisses Leon in gratitude. The model catches the midnight train because the butcher holds the door to stop it from closing. Before boarding the train, the model glances at Leon for the last time and Leon snaps a beautiful portrait of her. The train moves deeper into the tunnels and the butcher inside strikes the clueless model on the head with a meat mallet. The following day, Leon hangs the developed photos from the events of the last night in the train station. Maya admires the result and convinces him to submit the photos to the gallery owner soon. Later, Maya works in the diner while Leon, who's vegan, requests the chef to cook the tofu for him. While waiting, he reads from the newspaper that the model from last night disappeared after their brief encounter. So Leon visits the police station to show the model's photos as evidence. The detective entertains his plea and oddly recommends selling the model's photos to the tabloids. Leon declines the offer and leaves. Afterward, Leon submits the photos from the train station to the gallery owner. The gallery owner, clearly awestruck with his work, proposes to give her 3 more strong photos in exchange for an invitation to her group show. As a result, Leon, Jurgis, and Maya drink in the diner as a celebration of the good news. Meanwhile, the butcher strikes again on the midnight train, killing 3 employees by cruelly hitting their heads with a meat mallet, causing a bloodbath all over the train. As for Leon sitting alone just outside the subway, he catches the butcher's intriguing aura, luring him to take photos of him. Leon follows the butcher, but the butcher senses his presence and abruptly grabs Leon's shirt. Leon notices the butcher's signet ring and a blood droplet on his knuckle. Afterward, Leon captures a photo of the butcher walking to a hotel, who glances at him before entering. Arriving in his apartment, Leon examines the butcher's photos in front of the hotel and the model's photos before entering the train. He recognizes the signet ring by the door, realizing the butcher might be responsible for the model's disappearance. The following day, Leon stalks the butcher to his work in a slaughterhouse and onto his wait outside the subway station. The butcher sits on the bench, watching passengers load and unload onto the upcoming trains until the midnight train's arrival. The midnight train arrives and the butcher enters. However, a guard stops Leon from following the butcher further due to his suspicious act of secretly taking photos of strangers. The butcher strikes again after being provoked by a passenger. He smashes the passenger's head, but suddenly he feels a sharp pain pierce his chest, giving the passenger a chance to retaliate with a punch. They wrestle against one another until the conductor hears the commotion and finishes off the passenger by himself with a clean gunshot to the passenger's right eye. Before returning to the control room, the conductor expresses his disappointment with the butcher's performance. Meanwhile, Leon surprises Maya at a diner with a marriage proposal. After Maya says yes, they copulate on the diner's counter. Later, Leon wakes up from a nightmare, where much to his horror, he sees himself slitting the throat of a man hanging upside down on the neck. Afterward, Leon prepares dinner, while Maya stares at the hanging photographs in the kitchen. She asks if the butcher's photos are part of his group show, but he answers no and reasons that something's off about the butcher. The model's disappearance continues to bug him, and he feels the butcher is involved. Meyer insists on relying on the investigation by the police so as to avoid bigger problems. However, Leon defies Maya's order and goes on to conduct research on a butcher who is responsible for abductions and killings. Meanwhile, the butcher, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, slices off the mutated marks on his skin. It's shown that the peeled-off skin is kept inside a small jar, then hidden behind the mirror. It turns out the butcher's been doing this for so long because there are more than a dozen jars hidden. The following day, Leon continues his solo investigation, disguising himself as a butcher and secretly taking photos of the butcher working. Suddenly, the butcher faces Leon's direction, leading to a chase inside and a game of hide-and-seek. Luckily, Leon successfully escapes. Leon arrives at the diner and takes a seat next to Jurgis, who is eating. Everyone's surprised when Leon eats a piece of steak, reasoning it's only a bite and resisting. But he eventually gives in and orders the same meat meal. Later, Maya arrives home and finds the apartment filled with cutout news articles about the century-old butcher's killings, along with images of maps and portraits. Apparently, Leon becomes obsessed with the butcher's intriguing crimes. Despite the detailed information provided by Leon about the ongoing abduction and killing, Maya gets dubious and upset due to her inability to grasp what her boyfriend turned into. So she stops him from doing night shoots and convinces him to capture the things he loves. Maya starts undressing and expecting Leon to capture her charming hormones, but he can't. At night, Maya works at the diner and Leon visits her to reconcile, which they did. Leon suddenly freezes in place upon seeing the butcher standing outside the diner. Leon persistently follows the butcher onto the midnight train, and this time, there are more passengers than usual. When the midnight train is almost empty, the butcher kills the 2 passengers in the car where he's staying. In the next car, Leon takes photos of the butcher, pulling out the corpse's teeth and nails, extracting their eyes and balding their hair. Unfortunately, the butcher spots and chases Leon until he's cornered. A while later, Leon wakes up due to the unknown creatures inflicting pain and scratching on his chest. Momentarily, Leon wakes up, this time in an abandoned subway station without his camera. He ascends the stairs and realizes the station is just below the slaughterhouse. He comes home, and Maya welcomes him, but he immediately isolates himself in the bathroom. He checks his chest and finds peculiar markings engraved there. He leaves the bathroom, and Maya begs to check on him. She offers to call the ambulance after seeing the markings and the wounds on his forehead. However, Leon stops her because he has a group show to attend. At night, Leon attends the gallery owner's group show. Despite the clear exhaustion and stress on his face from the events of the midnight train, he tries communicating with the present clients, but he's preoccupied. A triggering point is the butcher's massive portrait plastered on the wall. Leon leaves the gallery after glaring at the portrait so as to catch the midnight train. Meanwhile, Maya finally believes Leon and meets with Jurgis to retrieve Leon's camera from the butcher. They go to the butcher's current hotel address, wait for the butcher's departure, and eventually break into the hotel room. Upon investigation, Maya finds an old timetable containing murders for a century on the subway. Unfortunately, the butcher unexpectedly returns and captures Jurgis snooping inside. However, Maya successfully escapes. Maya then goes to the police station to file a missing report for Jurgis. But the detective dismisses this and instead accuses her of stealing an important album from the butcher. Maya reasons that the album is with Jurgis, but the detective is doubtful, so Maya takes the matter on her own. She visits the diner and borrows the chef's revolver. Upon leaving, the detective tries to stop Maya from making her crazy accusations, but Maya threatens the detective with a gun, asking for Jurgis' real location. The detective spills the truth, saying Jurgis is on the midnight train. While Maya goes to the subway station and rides the midnight train, Leon on the other side returns to the slaughterhouse and armors himself with a chained apron and various knives against the butcher. Once alone, Maya searches for Jurgis on the midnight train. Just then, the train passes by the abandoned station where Leon is waiting. Upon seeing her inside the train, Leon jumps onto the train's last car and smashes the door window to enter. Meanwhile, Maya reaches the last car and finds corpses hanging upside down onto the handlebars like butchered pigs. The stifling smell of corpses disgusts Maya. However, she finds Jurgis hooked alive there. She tries freeing him only to give him more excruciating pain. Jurgis' suppressed grunt alarms the butcher, who had just finished killing another victim. The butcher arrives in the corpse's compartment and spots Maya. Maya is near death when suddenly Leon arrives just in time. Leon and the butcher fight viciously against each other to the point where they wreck the train door. Leon almost kicks the butcher off the train, but he stabs Jurgis' stomach to prevent himself from falling off the train. Jurgis dies after the butcher guts his entrails, causing blood to gush out of his body. The fight carries on, and out of anger, Leon repeatedly hammers the quartered butcher's chest and limbs until he loses his balance and falls off the train, smashing onto the train tracks. Leon, nearly drained from the battle, meets with Maya. They embrace one another until the midnight train puts a stop to a cavern. The conductor comes out of the control room and asks the two to leave the train. The two watch the reptile-like creatures swarming and feasting on the hanging corpses from the cavern filled with human remains, which really sends chills down to their spines. Unexpectedly, the butcher is still alive and wrestles with Leon once again until the butcher brings out a sharp machete to kill Leon. Due to fast reflexes, Leon grabs a broken femur from a pile of skeletal remains and pierces it into the butcher's waist. Afterward, Leon rapidly pounds the butcher's nape, quickly grabbing the stuck femur on his waist and impaling the bone onto his neck. The butcher gasps as he slowly dies and says his last words, "Take this. Welcome." In confusion, Leon finishes off the butcher with a strike of a machete from the back of his head, penetrating up to his mouth. The conductor leaves the train and explains to Leon that the butcher had become incompetent, which is evidently shown when the butcher's chest aches unexpectedly during killings and his mark mutating off the skin. There's an existing group aiming to protect the reptile-like creatures underground, which exists even before all the humans are born. The group and the reptile-like creatures' correlation are maintained with a deal. The conductor and a butcher are killing passengers to serve as food for the reptile-like creatures to survive. Since Leon finally learns the creature's existence, the conductor rips off Leon's tongue to keep him from telling the truth to everyone. In that way, it will help to keep the two worlds separated. Meanwhile, Maya unconsciously lies on piles of decaying corpses. The conductor approaches Maya's body, raises the dagger, and cuts open the chest to withdraw Maya's beating heart. Apparently, the heart is used to coerce Leon to join the group's cause. The movie ends with the detective, who's also a member of the group mentioned by the conductor, giving the suitcase holding the killing tools and timetable to a man in the suit. The man in suit ominously walks on the midnight train, revealing Leon's face in this man as the next butcher. It turns out the haunting dreams, where Leon saw himself killing passengers in a train, is already a forewarning. The mutating marks from the butcher are the same mark given to Leon when he was captured, meaning the reptile-like creatures chose him as the next butcher. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.